We've covered quite a few videos on riding technique, but here's one specifically on line choice. Whether at the trails, racing, or just out with your mates, picking the correct line can make it easier, faster, and more enjoyable.
Downhill and enduro races specifically spend a lot of time trying to pick the right line on the trail, but it works for all disciplines really, and the more you practice it, the better your instinct at picking the right line straight away becomes.
At Downhill World Cups and EWS events, you'll see many of the top racers pull into the side, investigate sections or corners, and decide the best option. This allows them to gain precious seconds or even milliseconds.
This is a good example here. You can see there's this rock, and it's just on the inside of a left-hand corner going into a gully. So I think actually I'm going to unweight over that rock, land in the middle of the gully, save myself a little bit of time by using a straighter line.
But remember, don't overanalyze this section of trail. There's plenty more sections to look at, and head on down and maximize your time.
Picking the right line also comes down to your specific ability. On this section of trail, there's two obvious lines. The faster, shorter route does go off a big drop off though, so it's pretty advanced. There is a much slower route around the outside. It's a lot longer, but it's a lot easier. You can't always find the best lines just by looking at the track, so you might have to try them out. I'm going to try going inside here.
And I'm going to go on the outside line here.
If you're at a downhill race, maybe stop, push back up and try again. Or if you're just having a session in the woods, try following a mate, trying different lines and see who comes out fastest. I think you're right, Scott. Whilst the inside was good initially, I then have to go inside again. It's pretty rough and I'm now not set up very well for this straight.
Yeah, whilst the outside was a little bit longer, it was much smoother, and the speed that I carried down this section was immense, and I've even got a better setup for this next section.
Turns are the most obvious place where line choice makes a big difference. You can see on Scott's first attempt, he comes in really fast, but actually rolls really close to the edge of the trail into the loose stuff, and any wider, he would have been off the trail. He doesn't exit very fast. On his second attempt, he actually comes in, brakes a bit harder, but manages to turn out of the corner earlier, therefore carries much more speed into the next section of trail. The best line choice in corners is often determined by what's after it. If there's a flat section, I'll try and exit as fast as possible, so it might be a little bit slow on the way in. If it goes back into another turn or a steep section, it doesn't matter so much. I'll just try and be fast through the corner, because if I mess up, I can always come off the brakes and get back up to speed.
If you're riding a trail for the first time and you're unsure of what's ahead, a great tip is to keep your head up, look ahead on the trail, and look for features that you can roll over and maintain your speed.
Okay, so riding down this section is quite loose. I can see up ahead there's a blind brow, I don't know what's behind that. I get to here and I can see it's actually pretty gnarly. Loads of big rocks and some big holes I don't want to get into. So I'm looking to try and stay right in the middle of the trail, stay away from those big rocks, and I've still got to keep my head up because I've got to make quite a hard left-hand corner down there. A great way of getting better at picking lines is just experimenting on your home trails and trying all the different lines.
So that's it on how to choose a line. For more videos on GMBN, click down here for our top descending tips.
And if you click up there, that takes you through to how to ride trails blind.
And click in the middle to subscribe.
Give us a thumbs up like if you found this video useful.